Welcome to today's European News Update. We've got three major stories for you today, spending about 2 minutes on each because we value your time. Ursula von der Leyen is once again at the center of a scandal over secrecy, this time involving critical raw materials projects. Intel definitively cancels its factory construction in Germany, billions in subsidies left hanging in the air, and France declares war on Elon Musk's social network X, criminal investigation for alleged foreign interference, while the US threatens to defend Americans' free speech. We'll discuss all of this now. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's crucial for growing this daily European news channel, and even more important for you, so you won't miss the most important news tomorrow and in the future. Tomorrow there might be news that could fundamentally change your life, and we'll be the first to tell you about it. Now to the European Commission's secrecy issue. Ursula von der Leyen has landed in another scandal. This time it concerns the Critical Raw Materials Act that came into force last year. This law gives the European Union the right to develop new mining projects for minerals, lithium, cobalt, rare earth metals, everything needed for electric car batteries, solar panels, and microchips. Europe wants to reduce dependence on China, which currently controls most supplies of such materials. MEPs requested information from the European Commission about specific mining projects. Where is mining planned? Which companies are involved? How much will it cost? Logical questions from elected representatives. But the European Commission is acting secretively and refuses to provide information. Deputies say they're completely ignored. Dissatisfaction grows daily. Parliamentarians are now considering filing a lawsuit against the EU's executive branch, that is, against Ursula von der Leyen herself. This happens against the backdrop of the COVID vaccine procurement scandal, where the court already ruled that the European Commission violated transparency rules. In July, they even tried to pass a vote of no confidence against von der Leyen, but it failed. It's ironic that Ursula von der Leyen demands transparency from everyone else but acts like a secret service herself, wanting to reduce dependence on China. Commendable. But why all the secrecy? What's so secret about lithium or cobalt mining? Or are we talking about some lucrative contracts for selected companies again? After the Pfizer vaccine story, where text messages worth 35 billion euros disappeared, trust in Ursula von der Leyen is seriously damaged. European deputies have every right to know how their money is spent and where resource extraction is planned. This isn't a state secret. These are economic projects funded by taxpayers, but apparently Brussels thinks differently. They believe elected representatives are just for show. Real decisions are made behind closed doors, without unnecessary questions or oversight. But deputies won't stand for this. And they're right. Because if Ursula von der Leyen isn't put in her place now, tomorrow she'll stop reporting to Parliament altogether, and that's a direct path to authoritarianism in the European Union. Now to Intel's withdrawal from the German project. American corporation Intel has definitively abandoned construction of a semiconductor factory in Magdeburg, Germany. The company announced this yesterday alongside its financial report. The project was valued at 30 billion euros, of which almost 10 billion would have been subsidies from the German budget. The factory was supposed to become Europe's largest chip manufacturing facility and create about 12,000 jobs. The first phase was planned for 2024, but back in September last year, Intel suspended projects in Germany and Poland for about 2 years. They called it a strategic pause then. Now it's clear. That was a soft way of announcing cancellation. The official reason is the company's financial difficulties and poor performance. Intel plans to cut 25% of staff. That's almost 25,000 people out of 101,500 employees. Net loss for the last quarter was almost $3 billion, double what it was a year ago. The company decided to focus on developing the domestic American market. Investments in Ohio, Arizona, Oregon, and New Mexico. Intel's withdrawal is a slap in the face to Europe's entire technological independence strategy. For years, Brussels talked about the need to create domestic chip production to avoid dependence on Asia. They allocated billions in subsidies, promised American companies the moon. And what's the result? Intel took money for project preparation and bailed. Now the German government is arguing about what to do with 10 billion euros in subsidies. Finance Minister Christian Lindner wants to use them to patch budget holes. Economy Minister Robert Habeck insists on keeping the money in the climate fund. And what to do with land for a factory the size of 530 football fields. Also unclear. But the main issue isn't even the money. The main thing is that Europe got played again. American companies brilliantly exploit European ambitions, extract subsidies, then find reasons to withdraw, because building factories in the US is much more profitable. Lower taxes, less bureaucracy, cheaper labor. Europe is left with beautiful plans and empty promises. Now to France's conflict with social network X. France opened a criminal investigation against social network X, owned by Elon Musk, on suspicion of foreign interference. This provoked a sharp reaction from the US. The State Department declared that democratic governments should allow all opinions to be expressed, not silence those they disagree with. The American State Department emphasizes that the United States will defend freedom of expression for all Americans against acts of foreign censorship. They made it very clear, US citizens will say what they want, including in Europe and France, and this cannot be stopped. Against this scandal's backdrop, Mark Zuckerberg's Meta company stopped all political advertising in the European Union until October. The reason is legal uncertainty regarding new rules designed to increase electoral campaign transparency. For Mark Zuckerberg and his company, it became clear that it's better not to touch political advertising in Europe at all to avoid various interference accusations. Better to stay away from all attempts at mass manipulation happening in Europe. France decided to show who's boss but got a harsh response from Washington. Opening a criminal case against Elon Musk X for suspected foreign interference is beyond reasonable. What criminal activity is the social network doing? Allowing people to speak freely? That's supposedly the foundation of democracy, but French authorities apparently only like democracy when it aligns with their opinion. As soon as inconvenient voices appear, immediately criminal cases and foreign interference accusations. The US reaction was crystal clear. American citizens will say what they want, where they want, when they want, and no one in France will silence them. This is a principled position, and it's correct, because if France starts persecuting American social networks today, tomorrow it will target any unwelcome opinions. Mark Zuckerberg decided not to risk it and removed all political advertising from Europe until October. Like, sort out your own rules, we'll stand aside. And this is symptomatic. Major tech companies are starting to avoid Europe as a high-risk zone for free speech. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's crucial for growing this daily European news channel, and even more important for you, so you won't miss the most important news tomorrow and in the future. Tomorrow there might be news that will change your entire life.